Hey YouTube. Today I just wanted to talk about how our feelings get in the way of us growing in Christ and being godly. Like for instance, feelings like anger and depression or when we feel depressed and embarrassed. Do we usually let our embarrassment make us standoffish and then sink and not stand up for ourselves? Like for instance, we go over to a friend's house and we sit on the couch and usually people always have the television on. They just keep the television on for noise, and they might have it on a program that you don't agree with, and you feel forced to watch it. Are you going to be too embarrassed to say, I don't want to watch this program? Are you going to be too embarrassed to stand up for your faith in front of people? Just because of your embarrassment, you're going to let that get in the way of, an action like sinning. You're going to let that get in the way. You're going to let how you feel in the moment be what you're going to do for God. Like, you're not going to take action just because you're embarrassed, because of yourself, because you're thinking more about yourself than you are about God and your faith and what is right to do. Because I've been in that situation before. I'm a very, awkward person, and I get embarrassed a lot, but I still try to push through that embarrassment and, say what I believe. I think that's what makes us grow, is pushing past our emotions and still stating what we believe, and still being godly about our emotions, not exploding when we get angry, not cursing at the person, not saying hurtful, hateful words, but explaining your anger to that person, really get to the deep core of it and why you're angry, and that you would like to forgive them, and you want to forgive them, and you want forgiveness yourself. And when we're depressed, do we just stay in our negativity, or do we try to beat through it and think of what we do have, the positive things that we have? Or do we just let Satan overwhelm us in all of our emotions? Do we let him have our emotions? If we let him have our emotions, we might as well let him have our spiritual life, because our emotions can get in the way of a lot of things. They can get in the way of our relationships. They can get in the way of everyday life, and we have to really, control our emotions and, really figure out what's at the deep core and talk about them, and not be embarrassed, and not get into deep depression, and not get into such a strong hate that we let the sun go down on it, and it boils and boils and boils and boils for years, and then we finally explode, when we could have just took that moment and talked about it, in a godly manner, and do everything in a godly manner so that we can grow. We can push past those emotions, and that helps us grow. It really does, because I've done it more recently. Whenever I feel a certain way, I go to my husband and I talk to him about it, and it's like I've pushed through it. And then I can finally see, Christ working in me to be more compassionate, to be more calm about my emotions, and to just express them in not such a hateful way and not such a negative way, and not like I'm embarrassed to stand up for what I really believe in. I'm not just going to let people walk all over me. I'm not going to live to please other people. I live to please God, and my feelings and emotions, are a human, fleshy, earthly thing, and I have to push past them, because, as humans, we were all made with emotions. We were all made to feel certain ways when certain situations in our lives happen, but we have to push past them and really think of what the godly thing is to do about our emotions.